Well, welcome back to this week's exciting Sanjay List episode of Delayed Offside. As always, well, not really always, but as not recently. But as sometimes, I'm your host, Baron. With me is
Ryan.
Oh, we should have coordinated that better.
Yes.
Well, that's fine. But anyways, yeah, we're here. This is your round one playoff update coming pretty much spectacularly to a close as the first round seems to end up. But as much as we have lots of playoff stuff to talk about, and we do, I actually want to talk about something to get Sanjay interested here, a little interesting tidbits for him, which is the firing of one Daryl Sutter from the Calgary Flames. Now, this is a little bit of a shock as you realize heading into the end of the off season, their GM Brad Treliving was up for his contract. Option to step down and mutually part ways as opposed to come back and deal with the coach he hired, which is interesting because usually if you hire a guy for several million for several years, you're probably okay with that person. So if you're leaving because of them, that probably indicates that you maybe didn't have as much of a say in the hiring as you wanted. But also the switching of the culture, losing a GM and losing a coach to start a year or go into an offseason is a pretty drastic change. What do you think resulted in this need for a change? And yeah, why do you think this didn't work? Like Sutter, like if you remember back to this, you find old episodes on here, you'll go back to Sanjay literally being like, we need Sutter. We need Sutter. This will make things different.
Yeah.
That was his entire push. And now Calgary fans are done with him as much as anyone. So what happened?
Oh, it's so stuck in his system that I thought it just drug everyone down. There was no real freedom for creativity, no real freedom to be an individual player with an individual style. You had to buy into that whole team mentality, which isn't bad. But as we're seeing, the league has evolved into a skill-based and, creative league. And I think that's what Calgary really lacked this year. And it was said even by Huberdeau, like, I couldn't play my game. I couldn't play my game in that system. And that's a detriment to that team.
I think maybe just even the new personnel they brought in didn't fit with the Daryl Sutter system.
Yeah.
Like last year it worked, but you had grinder types like Matthew Tkachuk on that team. And, even Johnny Gaudreau has, a bit of that element to his game, whereas Huberdeau does not, right? He's very much just a playmaker and loves, just to play in the offensive end. So if he's being asked to do a little more on the defensive side, maybe, not be able to pinch as much or cheat as much to create offense, be creative in his game. Maybe that's going to be at the detriment of his game. So sometimes, some coaches work with certain players and then they don't work with others. And I just don't think the players they brought in were the Daryl Sutter type.
No, it's interesting. Like we talk about this whole Sutter style, Sutter type and everything else. And last year, Calgary had a lot of positive results, so much so that they were probably picked to be one of the top two teams in the Pacific this year. But as you said, the makeup of the team changed. But even then, with the makeup of the team last year, it's not like you'd look at Johnny Gaudreau and go, that's a Sutter type player, right? And he had the best year he had in his career. And what did he do? Got the hell out of there.
And the one thing Gaudreau's really good at is transitioning the puck from defense into offense, which I think kind of lends itself a little more to the Sutter system with the possession results with that. So I think in that sense, he kind of fits in with that system a little bit more
than you'd think.
Yeah.
But there was this other thing today. It was on the radio. I don't remember who said it. It was on TSN, but they were talking about how even in the Sutter system, you can only go as far as your horses can take you. Mm-hmm. And if you but it's a good point, which is you can have a perfect structure, but if your guys can't implement it to the extent, when the Kings won under Sutter, they had loaded guys like Kopitar and Brown and Doughty. They were healthy and young and could do a lot of these things, but that doesn't mean necessarily that the Calgary Flames in their current state could, and even last year they got to the second round, which is good. They got past Dallas and then they petered out really quickly.
Yeah.
And so I think that says some of the stuff around it there too. And there was lots of talk today. Huberdeau was on Bob Hartley's show and basically commented on the fact that they didn't like how he handled Pelletier's first game. and that really bugged a lot of guys in the room. And I think that there was a huge disconnect between the staff and the players, and that inability to work in it. It's just a short system coach. He will never be the guy that you could have and for like a 7-8 year run without guys being sick and fighting of him.
You can lead a horse to water and you can't make it drink, but these ones sure took a shit.
Yeah, like wasn't that the stupidest comment to make? Like, what's wrong with him? Shitting. Like what the
take a shit.
But isn't that dumb? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it. It is now 3-0 New Jersey. So
Holla.
no, this is potentially a good thing.
Not for my fantasy pool. No, it's not.
No, me neither. I lose 3 players.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't even draft
the Jersey
team.
players.
Yours
I
is
still
doing
have to- I
well.
still
I
have
did
to-
okay. I did
Yeah,
okay.
you did, actually. I still have to pay people on. One of these days.
One day.
Well, it's not like you don't know where I am. But yeah,
I actually
yeah,
didn't
it's
even
just-
know you hadn't paid yet. So if you didn't say that, I would have never come collect.
No, I that's not what I said. I said I had paid. I just
Yeah.
did pay.
Okay.
You can go back and listen to it. It's good. It's good. Well, everyone on this podcast here today is actually in good spirits around playoff hockey because unlike the person who couldn't make it today because of his sorrow over his coach being fired, our teams are all going to the second round of the playoffs. Ryan, this is the first time in your life, right? Because what are you, 20? I can't remember.
Yeah, right. I
Second
really
time in
look
your
20.
life. What is it? What is it? What year were you
First-
born? Like legitimately, like 90,
86
80. Okay, no, yeah. So you had lots of years. You had the Clark and Gilmore years.
and Sundin years. Yeah. No, last time I saw the Leafs in the second round, I was in grade 11, boys. So, I've graduated from high school and convocated from university and have had 2 different careers and I've had 2 kids and gotten married and all that great stuff all in that time before I got to see them in the second round.
What's your address and social insurance number again? Because you're giving all this information, I figure we might as well go all the way.
It's incredible to think how much time has passed since they've actually made it to that second round. And that's why Leaf fans are just going crazy and people are like, it's one round. It's like, yes, but like, this is huge for us. This is like winning the Stanley Cup for us because it's been so damn long since we've gotten past that first round. And every year we've had to hear like other fans beaking us about the Leafs never being able to get it done in the playoffs, can't get past that first round, and it just grinds on you. And like, honestly, I haven't enjoyed the playoffs for the past couple of years because I just wanted them to get past this first round so bad. And every year it's been a disappointment and you're just like, oh, great. Now I have to go and hear all that shit again. And this one was a big one too, because if they didn't do it again, there would have been changes this year for sure. There was no way they were going to bring it back for another round. So I'm glad that they did it. It's huge relief.
So one of the things I wonder is like, since you haven't been like experienced the second round playoff since you were in grade 11, did you fully resort back to grade 11 Ryan? Like, did you start dressing in the same stuff, listening to the same music, like talking to your wife the way you would have talked to her
Crank
in
that
grade
DMX
11?
and Ludacris and
exactly with your cornrows in your hair back again. Yeah.
I went and found my old Toyota Paseo and started driving that around town, and yeah,
just full back.
Actually, I waited till the kids were in bed to watch this one, and so I didn't actually watch the game till after it was already over. And so by the time they scored that OT goal, like everyone in the house was asleep. And I was so excited, but I knew everyone was sleeping. So I'm trying to hold in my screams, but I couldn't help it. I'm like half yelling like at like a weird sounding pitch because I'm trying to hold it in. And I'm like punching the couch, trying to get out all that energy because I can't like actually release it like I want to.
Your wife is just like, shut up.
She heard me too. She's like, oh my God,
sleep.
I could hear you. And I could tell you were trying to keep it in, but you just couldn't contain yourself. And I was telling Adam before this too. It's like when that goal first went in, I was, oh my God. And then I stopped myself. I was like, no, this is the Leafs. Wait, they're going to call this back. There's going to be an offside or a penalty or something. Just wait for it. And nope, it happened. And I just, honestly, it was like, I couldn't believe it. It didn't feel real.
Did you cry? Legit?
I didn't cry, but it was damn
teary-eyed?
close. I got teary-eyed, man. Like it was. I've been dreaming about them getting past this first round for so long that it didn't feel like it was actually going to happen. And once again, a game 6 overtime, like it just felt like the same old thing, right? And finally, things went a different way, which kind of like this whole series went a different way for the first time, right? Like you look at the past 2 series with Montreal and Tampa, and if you looked at the analytics after the fact, like Toronto should have won those series in terms of like the actual like carry play and everything, but they found a way to lose. This one, Tampa actually carried the play like very minusculely, but they did. But yet the Leafs found a way to win. They were the resilient ones. They forced the overtimes. They got those lucky goals. They were the ones to get the key goaltending at the key times to stop those backbreaking potential goals. It's just stuff that we got favorable reffing for once. There was 2 penalties against the Leafs in that last game that should have been called against us that didn't happen. That you never see
penalty
that.
Probably should
you
have
never
been called.
see that. It was always the other way. We would always get the unfortunate calls against. This time it was Tampa. Even like injuries and stuff. Like Tampa started losing guys on defense, and that was usually with the Leafs losing like Kadri or Tavares or Muzzin.
Did you copy their game plan? You were like, just hurt this guy in a stupid fashion, and then that way we can win.
So it was pretty incredible just to see it flipped. And no, it's pretty awesome feeling, boys. And like obviously it's one round, and I want to see them go further, but it really does feel like that monkey's off your back, and you can just kind of enjoy playoff hockey now. Like I'm actually going to enjoy the second round for the first time since they played.
No, you won't.
Boston the first round.
You're wrong. You're completely wrong. It's just you just start the stress process all over again.
Oh, I'm sure I'll get stressed.
It is 100%.
I'll get stressed, but the stress level is not going to be the same because there was so much at stake. There was so much at stake this first round. There was so much at stake.
I know what you're saying, but like those things aren't even guaranteed yet either. And I mean this, like, honestly, depending how far they go, the ball is in Dubas's court. He can be like, yeah, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh and make X amount of money. I'm going to go to Calgary and make X amount of money.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying he will.
Yeah.
But they kind of they've pigeonholed themselves into this situation to some degree, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, right now, let's be honest. The big thing is, hey, you get to go to the second round of the playoffs, and Boston isn't going to be there against you.
Crazy. Yeah. And who called that one? This guy.
Yeah, but did you really believe it, or did you just said it because you wanted it?
No, I actually believed it, and that's why I picked 3 Florida players in our fantasy hockey pool too. I saw what happened to Tampa. What
pick order did you get?
What do you mean? Like I was fifth overall.
Yeah, you picked them because you had to.
No, I didn't. I picked them fairly. I got Barkov, Verhaeghe, and it was Montour. So yeah, Montour. But anyways, no, I saw what happened with Tampa that year, that they had that unbelievable season where they almost got the record. And I was just thinking, nothing's gone wrong for Boston this year. Like everything, they haven't really had to face adversity at all. And so when it comes in the playoffs, because at some point it's going to come, how will they respond? And I just don't think that they were ready to handle that.
No, it's an interesting point. I think that you're right. Like I think the other point is that their adversity all came right in the playoffs.
Yes. Because at some point a team's going to get hit with adversity. And if you haven't had it at all during the regular season, that means it's probably coming in the playoffs. So
exactly. But you look at it, because what did they do? It's like, so Allmark had an injury. Bergeron played with a herniated disc, which is like beyond amazing that the guy could play that well. I don't know what else they had for injuries. Lindholm was out pretty early in the series. I think what else, but yeah, like I think it caught them all at once, and they had a 3-1 lead in the series, and they just couldn't close it out.
And that's the other awesome thing, is that whole it was 3-1 joke against the Leafs. I mean, you can still make the joke if you want, but it just doesn't hold the same weight because it just happened to Boston. So it feels like they took that joke off of us as well. So it's a great time, boys. It's a great time to be alive and be a Leafs fan.
Fair enough. Got to enjoy it.
That's right.
It is now 4-0 for the New Jersey Devils.
Moving on.
No, it'll be good. I think that'll be good. Honestly, it's gonna be interesting for the Rangers if they fire their head coach or whatever. The other one that we really care about, the other ones we really don't, but is the advancement of the Edmonton Oilers. Now, if you consider what happened here, the Oilers last year got taken to game 7 by the LA Kings. The LA Kings improved their lineup. They added Fiala. Doughty was healthy. Anderson was healthy. They were looking better. They improved their goaltending, and the Edmonton Oilers beat them in 6 games. So, yeah. Take that, Kings fans.
They split our prediction, Adam. You said 5, I said 7. They went right in the middle there.
What did I say?
You didn't.
I thought I gave you guys my lists.
Oh, right.
We never read them.
Oh, well.
Oh, I think I did.
Called it perfect like I have every other series.
Did.
6. I thought I said 6. I'm pretty sure I did.
I bet you.
All right. Well, then Darren got it right.
I could be wrong, though. I mean, honestly, I don't remember. It's predictions. It's like...
You can tell Adam's just feeling immense guilt right now because he forgot to read predictions that you gave him for a list.
I'm sure we read them off.
I don't remember. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyways, like they beat them in 6. So they actually beat them at a better pace than last year. Leon Draisaitl had probably once again one of his most impressive playoff series, which is funny because if you tell Colton that, he literally just speaks about his plus minus, and he's like, well, Rope Hintz has a plus minus better by 1, or he's got 1 less, like he's a +3 or something. Like it's like there's not that much difference. I mean, I don't know what people want. It's just weird. Anyways, the point is Leon Draisaitl is one hell of a playoff performer, and he factored in on several goals. But Adam, what did you find most stood out to you about this series?
You know what? Evan Bouchard stepping in, being a power play monster. Taking his game to another level. Incredible. You know, the team stepping up and finding secondary scoring was massive as well. You had Bukestad with his 2-goal game when he was boosted to the second line to center that. You had Hyman coming in huge on that overtime goal. Clean Costin with really, really timely goals as well. And you know what? A guy who was very silent in this series, and I was talking about maybe taking him out for Holloway for maybe the last game, if it ever got to that, Tyler Yamamoto.
The Oilers did have depth scoring. I think they had the second highest of depth scoring behind Seattle.
Yeah,
but they're all lines contributed, and in that last game, it really was the bottom 6 that was the huge difference.
Oh, Costin.
It wasn't at the beginning of the series though, right? Because wasn't Draisaitl in on like every goal for the first half of the series?
The 3rd or 4th game, he was still predominantly in on every goal. Because even in that game where they were down 3-0 and came back, I think he factored in on the 3 tying ones. Holy crap, we're at 9 minutes already.
Yeah,
it's because there's a half hour of us playing with lights.
Yeah,
but it was a hell of a series. Like I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
The biggest thing that was like for me, the heartbreak moment was potentially when the stick broke on Stuart Skinner and it looked like he made a terrible pass. But even then I was like, I felt like confident in it. I don't know, like that they had the horses to come back. I just wouldn't have guessed it was Kyler Yamamoto.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys that I think need to show up more in the second round are Yamamoto, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins needs to get on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, Nugent needs a much better series. It's going to be interesting. They're going to be playing Vegas. Vegas and them, Oilers probably a little bit better in forwards. Vegas a little bit better in defense. Goaltending, I don't think that Laurent probably even. Yeah, Laurent Brossoit doesn't necessarily make your goaltending Vezina stand up. So I don't know, but that'll be interesting. The Leafs have to play
Florida,
which the one downside, because I mean, I think we're a little bit cheated here from seeing a Boston-Toronto series, which would have been intense and emotional. But on the other side, Florida still beat Boston.
Oh yeah, they're going to be a good team. They're not.
I think they're going to be harder than people are. They're going to be harder than people are aware of. I think
they won the President's Trophy last year for a reason. Like they're not a bad team. I think they just took some time to get gelled with some of the changes that they made. Ekblad had a really poor regular season, but it seemed like his playoffs, he was starting to turn his game around. I think that's a really big thing. And then also Bobrovsky had a really good series against the Bruins. And he's kind of a hot and cold goaltender on and off, but when he's hot, he can be one of the best.
It's weird because I don't think he's been hot for a long time.
It has been a while. Yeah.
But yeah, this flat, like he looked brilliant. Like he just making saves. You know who that's also true for is Grubauer. In that last game.
Where was that last year at all?
Yeah.
Or even during the regular season. Yeah.
Like he looked amazing. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, wow, like he hates this team.
Yeah, got his revenge, eh?
He really did.
Yeah.
Like that save where he's like literally kicks his leg out on an empty netter. That was wild. Wild. I think I shared the stat there, but a team that actually basically lost its second scoring was the Colorado Avalanche. That's the team that had huge turnover from last year to this year. They went from being a juggernaut to a
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were having injury issues all year. All year. And then
injury, escorted out of a hotel room by security issues.
That whole weird Nichushkin thing.
That was
and then
my
another
call.
Injury. That second line. Yep, that was your
I called
prediction.
Seattle over them. Yeah.
That their whole second line from last year's cup run gone.
Yeah.
What's good for them though is that they probably have a little bit more cap space heading into next year, right? Like I think cap will probably increase a bit and they'll have some decisions to make. Maybe have some bad, I don't know if what they have for bad contracts. Actually, I think they're probably one of the better structured teams, but I imagine that they'll have some chances here to make some improvements again. And if Landeskog's back healthy, I think that's a huge difference on this team too.
That is a big thing. And I wonder, like, did they think he was going to come back? Because I was really surprised they didn't bring in any big names at that trade deadline. And I thought, well, maybe they think they're going to get Landy back here pretty soon.
They had announced he was out indefinitely. Like
before the trade
deadline? But so was Mark Stone. So the story I heard is that they tried to get him to skate and it was like he couldn't skate. Yeah. Like it was that bad. Lower body injury.
Jeez.
I don't know. Hips, groin. What do hockey players always lose?
The new age Peter Forsberg.
Yeah,
his feet. They have a lot of UFAs coming up here this year.
Yeah, but they could resign guys.
Eller, Rodriguez, Cogliano, Helm.
They might have to do an overhaul.
Yeah, or just a rebuild on the fly, which is you ship off, you let certain guys walk, you resign other guys, and then you plug the hole with cheap young players, right?
Yeah. Eric and Jack Johnson are both coming off as well, which actually probably isn't a bad thing necessarily.
Well, Jack Johnson was just their pickup for the for the playoffs here. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just making banana pancakes.
Yeah. I get the reference.
Thank you.
Ryan should, because that's around the last time the Leafs won the
that's
playoffs. Right. 2004.
Was it?
Yeah.
2004?
That's around the time of banana pancakes. It's gotta be around there.
No combination of words I can put on the back of the postcard.
Do you remember that, Ryan?
No, I don't. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Jack Johnson.
Banana pancakes.
Banana pancakes, the song.
Oh.
So that I can sing some blah, 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 blah.
Don't sing too much of it. No.
That's right.
You get sued. You're gonna take it off for copyright.
YouTube won't let us post it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Were you dumbasses singing banana pancakes? You're only allowed
I do not know
5 seconds. You went 10.7 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. $500,000 fine.
Exactly. Well, now we have our playoff matchup set. New Jersey did win. So we have Edmonton versus Las Vegas. We have Seattle versus Dallas. And then in the East, Florida, Toronto, and Carolina and New Jersey.
I hope all the series go 7 games except for the Oilers series, which I hope goes less. And then the other teams beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
I think honestly, what team are you most scared of in your division, Ryan?
Out of everyone who's left?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You want to say the Leafs, don't you?
All good.
You're like, they're going to let me down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Leafs.
I don't know. New Jersey was probably like one of the top offensive and defensive teams in the league all season long. So I would say New Jersey is pretty scary.
Yeah. Adam, what about you?
I would say Dallas.
Yeah, I would also say Dallas.
Ottinger's legit. Yeah, and that would be Dallas.
And Hint's on fire. Hey, like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I had him regular season for fantasy, and he's good. He's really good, but he wasn't like he is in the playoffs right now.
No, where did the scoring come from? I would have won first place if he did that.
So who are you taking then in that series? Seattle, Dallas.
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 I'm also taking Dallas.
What about Edmonton, Vegas?
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Edmonton as well.
The boy Toronto, Florida.
Toronto. I'll take Toronto.
I'll take Toronto.
I'm going to continue with my strategy because it worked this past round. So I'm going to go Florida Panthers.
Okay.
I hope you're right, Ryan. I hope you're right.
And then what about Carolina and New Jersey?
I'm going to go Jersey.
I think it's going to be Carolina. I think Carolina is a team that can go to the third round and never beyond. They're like the Islanders a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, shut down. That's going to be a tough series. That's the hardest one to predict for me.
I think Kraken Dallas are going to be a good series too. Actually, Kraken's a lot better.
It could really be.
It will be.
And people take credit for.
And if Jordan Eberle is breaking guys' necks and not getting penalty more than 2 minutes for it, hell.
And to be honest, I do think Edmonton Vegas is going to be the shortest of the 4 series.
Me too.
I hope, but I hope in a good way
too.
Like I picked Edmonton. You know? I think they're going to finish. I think they're going to finish them in 5.
That was what I picked too. 5.
I'll say 6 just because I don't trust anything. I feel like 6 is the cop-out answer, right?
It's always the safe, right? It's that safe one because that's usually what every series goes to. It's like rolling dice, right? 7 is like a pretty high number for the 2. High probability, right? With 2 dice.
I just don't think like if Edmonton was going to get shut down, it was going to be by LA. Like I don't think Vegas is as good defensively as LA is, and they couldn't shut down Edmonton's offense. So I don't see Vegas shutting them down. So like the only way I could maybe see them winning is if Skinner plays poorly.
Yeah. No one scared me more this playoffs that Edmonton was going to go up against than LA.
Yeah, LA to me was the scary one too. I thought like that was the one I didn't want, but considering how Seattle played, probably glad I didn't have them either.
Too. Yeah.
All right, we're in the last 30 seconds here. So a pretty short episode, but that's just the way she goes, just like the playoffs. But thank you for listening. Like, click, subscribe. Feel free to reach out on everything like Twitter, comments, etc. With that, I'm Baron.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan.
Go Oilers.
Go Oilers. Go Oil.
Yeah. And Leafs. They need it too. 2 rounds is great.